Today we're trying the stunning Central Park Boathouse. We're Kristin and Will, and we're on a mission to find the best restaurants in New York. 10 years ago, we came here for our 1-year dating anniversary, so we were pretty devastated when it closed last year. But it's back, and we're gonna find out if it's just a tourist trap or if it's worth the hype.
It is just beautiful in here. I love all the blues and whites and touches of gold. We are sitting right on the water. I could imagine on a nice day, all the windows open and people out on the water on the rowboats. In terms of experience, I would make sure to put in your reservation if you want to sit somewhere particular like on the water before you get here. It just seems like once you arrive, they have everyone in a really specific layout and there's really no moving around. We also just got a little complimentary starter. We got some olives, toast, and it looks like ranch dressing maybe. Let's try it. I'll just dip the toast in so we can get a sense for what this dressing is. It's more like a dill, creamy, definitely has some ranch notes. It's a really good complement with the vegetables. This celery in there is probably gonna be amazing. So crunchy and so fresh.
So we already placed our order. They're really hustling us along, but I just wanted to point out a couple things on the menu. The prices really aren't too bad, especially for such a touristy location like this. Also, we're here for lunch on a Saturday, but if you want brunch, that's only available on Sundays.
We just got the Parker House rolls. They look amazing and the butter is so melty. Oh, that's gonna be amazing. All right, let's try one. They smell so good and they feel like so nice and oily. They're like so pillowy and soft. All right, I'm gonna put a little bit of this very melty butter on there. Okay, actually it's not so melty. Maybe it's butter with olive oil on it? Because I can't even really spread the butter. That's interesting. Okay, let's give it a try. Wow, so warm. It is so soft. I love that texture. And also the top of it is like crunchy. It's like nice and toasted on the outside. They're like buttery as it is. And then when you add a little bit of extra butter, it just adds that, oh, so much creaminess. So good. We just got our main entrees and they came only a few minutes after the Parker rolls came, so they're just moving us right along. I got the spaghetti with lobster and look at all that lobster on it. That's gonna be great. This is one of their specialty items. There's also like roasted garlic in there. I can see herbs and tomatoes. Wow, the garlic is so good. I love how there's a little bit of tomato flavor, but it's not like a thick tomato sauce. I feel like this oil, the herbs, the garlic just complements the lobster so well. Oh, the lobster is so sweet, and there's so much of it. There's also roasted tomatoes in here, which is such a nice little extra texture to munch on with the spaghetti. This is gonna be delicious. It is so hot though. I don't know if you could see the smoke coming out of there, but I might need to wait a little bit to eat the rest of it. We also got the French dip. As far as the lunch menu goes, our waiter recommended this. The bread looks so nice and crispy and toasted, and the cheese looks so melty. And I love how the meat is like layered and so thinly sliced. Okay, I'm gonna dip it in a little bit of this sauce. The sauce is a lot thicker than I was expecting. Wow, that's amazing. I love the thick sauce because you really get that extra flavor on the meat. And the cheese, it's so nice and strong. And the crunch from the bread. What I appreciate is it's not really like thick bread, so it's not the majority of the flavor, but it just complements the meat and the cheese so well. It almost seems more like a panini, but it is amazing. This is really good.
They really are moving us through here in record time. We've only been here for 20 minutes and we already have all our food. It's kind of wild. This does look really good. The meat looks like it's cooked kind of more towards like the medium side. A lot of cheese. That is really good. The thickness of the sauce is so nice. The meat is so tender. It's not like usually when you have like a French dip or a steak sandwich where it's a little like chewy. Not at all. And I love the bread. I wonder what kind of bread it is. It's like a baguette kind of. It's really good. All right, Kristin gave me just a taste of her lobster. That lobster is crazy good, actually. It's not very saucy, but the lobster has so much flavor. Honestly, despite the fact that the service in here is a little weird, I would say that the food kind of holds up, especially for such a touristy place. And the prices really aren't that bad either, especially when you consider like the ambiance, the location. So honestly, I'm pretty impressed. We are moving so fast that I realized I never even tried one of these rolls. They're still hot, which is hilarious because it just goes to show how quickly we're moving here. Also, the plate that it's in is still warm, so that's kind of a nice way to keep the bread a little bit warm if you let it sit for a bit. Wow, those are excellent. I love the salt on top. It has a little bit of crunch. And the olive oil with the butter is so good. What a nice compliment. I feel like you always have olive oil with bread or butter with bread, but together, honestly, really good. I think you got it.
I guess you could tell I liked it.
This is why this system is so ridiculous. That third table in, no one has sat in the entire time we've been here. And they had 3 tables in a row open at the window and still sat both of these other 2 tables not at the window. See, again, those people just got sat there. You have 2 tables, one which has been open the entire time we've been here. And they specifically asked again if they could sit there, and the people said no. I just feel like if you're operating a restaurant with tables like this, you'd want to make sure they're always taken, especially since that one's been open for almost 2 hours. Just wanted to point out, in case you do come here, that 20% gratuity is automatically included. Well, that was really not what we were expecting. The food was surprisingly great, actually. At least everything we ordered, I would definitely recommend. The service, though, was questionable at best. First of all, when we got there, our waiter accidentally gave us sparkling water instead of tap, even though we specifically said tap. And we didn't really think anything of it until he did the exact same thing to the table next to us, so that was kind of interesting. And while we were filming, a bartender got into the back of one of our shots and came running over, screaming at us to delete it. I don't know what was up with that, but he could have just asked nicely. It wasn't like it was a big deal. He wasn't even in the shot, really. So that was weird. And the table situation is crazy. We were the second people to sit in the restaurant, and we were seated 2 inches away from the table next to us. We were pretty much at the same table as them. They weren't sitting by the windows, but they had asked the waitress if they could move to a table by the window. Granted, they're the only people in the entire restaurant at this point, and they told them no, and that all those tables were reserved. They gave us the table by the window, and then we asked to move because we didn't want to disturb the people next to us with our filming. So they told us that the tables we wanted to move to, which were all the way in the back corner, as far from the windows as possible, those were specially reserved. And the people next to us said that they told them the exact same thing about our table, which we never specifically reserved. I don't know, I guess if you're coming here and you want to sit by the window, I would tell them in your reservation that you're celebrating something and you want a table by the window, and hopefully they'll be able to accommodate.
Also, just wanted to mention that this seems to be a common complaint since the reopening. We have never seen another restaurant this strict with their seating, but if that's something they need to do, they could at least implement a booking software like this at American Cut that allows you to choose your specific seat, or add a window seat option like these at Gordon Ramsay's Hell's Kitchen.
If you guys get the chance to come here, we would love to hear what your experience was like. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and we will see you in the next one.